Hey everyone, what happens when an AI model goes from completely free to paid? That's exactly what happened with Hy3 Preview. For the first 2 weeks after launch, developers flooded into OpenRouter because the model was free. But then the free access ended. Normally, that's where the hype dies. Tencent's Hy3 Preview has quickly become one of the most impressive AI models on the market, ranking #2 overall on major leaderboards and claiming the #1 position in programming. And that got my attention. Because developers don't keep paying for a model unless it actually saves time, reduces cost, or performs better in real-world work. So in this video, we're putting Hy3 Preview through real coding tests, real agent workflows, debugging challenges, and cost efficiency comparisons to figure out why people are sticking with it even after the free trial ended. And some of the results were genuinely surprising. What is Hy3 Preview? First, let's quickly understand what this model actually is. Hy3 Preview on OpenRouter is Tencent Hunyuan's newly rebuilt large language model architecture. It's a fast and slow-thinking fused mixture of experts model with 295 billion total parameters, 21 billion activated parameters, a context window of up to 256,000 tokens, strong reasoning capabilities, advanced coding abilities, and optimization specifically designed for AI agents. But here's the important part. Tencent is not positioning Hy3 Preview as a benchmark flexing model. Their entire philosophy is based around practical utility, not leaderboard scores. Instead, the focus is simple. Can it actually build things? Can it use tools properly? Can it handle long workflows? Can it debug real projects? And can companies actually afford to deploy it at scale? That's the angle Tencent is pushing hard. And honestly, that's exactly what developers care about right now. Why people started talking about it, the biggest reason Hy3 Preview exploded wasn't marketing. It was cost performance. When developers started comparing outputs, they realized the model was delivering surprisingly strong coding and agentic capabilities at a fraction of the cost of many competitors. According to OpenRouter pricing comparisons, the input and output cost per million tokens is roughly 2% of GPT-4o's pricing. Tencent also highlights lower deployment costs, lower latency, faster responses, and improved efficiency. Inference efficiency reportedly improved by around 40%. That's a massive advantage if you're building AI agents or systems that run continuously. Because token costs become a serious issue very quickly, especially for long context workloads. Tasks like reading large code bases, fixing chained issues, processing long prompts, and running tool calling workflows. That's where the value became obvious. Because cheaper models often struggle with reasoning, and expensive models become difficult to scale. Hy3 Preview feels like Tencent intentionally optimized for that middle ground, strong enough to perform complex work while remaining cost-effective. Test 2 real-world coding stress test now. Let's move to something much harder. Instead of simple coding prompts, I gave Hy3 Preview a broken React project containing multiple logical issues, not syntax errors, actual architectural and communication problems. The project included state synchronization bugs, unnecessary re-renders, async race conditions, broken component communication, memory leak risks, and inefficient API fetching. And the task wasn't simply to fix the code. The model also had to explain the root cause, refactor the architecture, improve performance, add proper error handling, and write unit tests. This is where I noticed something important. Hy3 Preview behaves much more like a coding assistant than a traditional chatbot. Instead of blindly patching errors, it tries to understand the intent behind the architecture first. It explains why something breaks, not just what needs to change. That's a huge difference, especially for developers who are learning software architecture and systems design. Agent behavior test now. Let's test the thing Tencent keeps emphasizing: agentic capability. Because modern AI is no longer just about chatting. It's about tool usage, planning, multi-step execution, memory handling, and context coordination. So I gave Hy3 Preview an agent-style workflow: build a landing page, generate marketing copy, structure the components, debug responsiveness issues, and optimize loading performance. Most models fail somewhere in that chain, Usually they lose consistency halfway through. But Hy3 Preview handled the workflow surprisingly well, especially when tasks required instruction following, long context retention, maintaining architectural consistency, and iterative correction. You can tell Tencent trained heavily around practical workflows, not just benchmark answers. Long context test next. I wanted to test the 256,000 token context window, because companies love advertising huge context sizes, but many models become unreliable deep into long prompts. So I fed Hy3 Preview long documentation, API references, multi-file project structures, and large technical notes. Then I asked questions from much earlier sections later in the conversation. And honestly, the context retention was better than I expected, especially for coding tasks. The model stayed relatively stable across large prompt chains. That matters a lot for code-based understanding, AI-eyed workflows, autonomous agents, research systems, and documentation analysis. Reasoning and debugging. Something else I noticed is that Hy3 Preview has a very balanced reasoning style. Some models overthink everything. Others respond too quickly and hallucinate. Hy3 Preview sits somewhere in the middle. You can actually feel the fast and slow thinking architecture during complex tasks. Simple prompts receive quick responses, but difficult reasoning tasks trigger deeper analysis. And during debugging, that becomes extremely useful, because the model doesn't instantly jump to random fixes. It traces logical relationships between components, behaviors, and system interactions before making recommendations. That's incredibly valuable for real software engineering. Why developers kept paying after free access ended. This is probably the most interesting part of the story. The free trial ended, but usage stayed high. Why? Because developers realized something important. If a model saves enough time, the pricing becomes secondary. And Hy3 Preview seems optimized around exactly that principle. Tencent rebuilt their infrastructure around 3 core ideas: systematic capability, authentic evaluation, and cost-effectiveness. In other words, they're optimizing for actual utility, not benchmark farming. And honestly, that philosophy shows up in the results. Comparison to other models. Now, obviously, Hy3 Preview isn't perfect. There are still situations where other models may outperform certain creative reasoning tasks, some niche coding styles, and highly specialized edge case prompts. But for coding, agents, long context workflows, and scalable deployment, Hy3 Preview is extremely competitive, especially when you consider the pricing. And that's the key point. Performance alone is no longer enough. Efficiency matters, scalability matters, deployment cost matters, and Tencent clearly understands that. Who should actually try Hy3 Preview? If you're building AI agents, creating coding workflows, using OpenRouter heavily, experimenting with autonomous systems, building SaaS products, working with long context applications, or trying to reduce inference costs, then Hy3 Preview is absolutely worth testing, especially if your current AI stack is becoming expensive. Final verdict: after testing Hy3 Preview extensively, I finally understand why developers stayed after the free access ended. This model feels engineered for practical work, not just demos, not just benchmark screenshots, actual real-world usage. And that's probably why it continued ranking near the top even after becoming a paid model. Because once developers trust a workflow, they tend to keep using it. And Tencent seems to be aggressively targeting exactly that market. Outro: if you want to test Hy3 Preview yourself, I'll leave all the relevant links in the description below, including OpenRouter access, repositories, model pages, and Tencent's official resources. And if you enjoy real-world AI testing videos like this one, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.